Hello all. So welcome again to another session of Stroke Support India. आज हम गोपी जी से बात करेंगे. गोपी तेजवानी, he is here with us. He is logging in from Columbus, Ohio, and himself very well read, studied in India for some time, long time, migrated to USA late 70s. And has been in the US since then. Suffered a stroke at about 62 years of age, serious stroke, and has recovered, I would say, very well. So God bless him, and he is an inspiration to all of us on how to handle what is a very sudden change. हम सब जानते हैं, we all know, जो भी लोग इस मीटिंग में हैं या आएंगे, later they will join us, they know that it is a life-changing event. So handling that, it needs a lot of skills and attitudes also, and I'm sure Gopi ji's experience will help us all. So as usual, we plan to have a short chat, maybe about 20-25 minutes with Gopi ji, and then open it up to maybe a general question and answer session. And of course, or as usual, always feel free to share your experiences also, your thoughts also. So welcome Gopi ji, welcome to our group, Stroke Support India meetings. So I would start with this small, introduction. If you can just give a small introduction to yourself, sir, pre-stroke. What is your background? आप क्या कर रहे हैं या क्या कर रहे थे? For the group members also. Over to you, Gopi ji.
Okay. Yeah, as you said, my name is Gopi Tejwani, and actually I was in New Delhi, as I told you, in 69 to 73. I did my PhD in biochemistry at All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And as soon as I got the PhD, I got an offer from USA to come here for training. It's equivalent to doctor's residency. So I was doing 3 years training, 3 years training in St. Louis, New Jersey, near New York City. And then I came to Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. There I have been there for 45 years. So I was a professor in medical school, and I used to teach the would-be doctors. I was in a medical school. And right now, of course, I'm retired. I retired about 9 years back, I know, but I still have position at the university as a emeritus professor. And I do teach once in a week there one course, just for, to help students and just to be familiar with the university. And I have been there for 45 years. So, I miss the university and I like to be with the kids, Anyway, I think a stroke is something very difficult. I mean, it's a very difficult subject even for me to understand when I was in early stages. And right now I can talk about my stroke, but it took me about 3-4 years for me to enable to talk. I mean, I used to cry. Whenever I talk about my stroke, I used to be cry. And now I have analyzed why I used to cry. And this may be true with most of the stroke victims. That before the stroke, our life was very vibrant, energetic, and we were doing our job. And everything was like a hunky-dory. I used to go and teach in my university. I was the vice chairman of the department. I had postdoctoral fellows, PhD students, and everything was going normal. And I was never in a hospital in my life. I was that time like 62-year-old. And one day what happened, that was the day was, and of course, the other thing I want to tell you that I had no diabetes, high blood pressure, nothing. So
Okay.
stroke was very,
Indications you had no, we call sometimes that जैसे BP होता है, diabetes होता है, there are pre-indications. You had nothing.
nothing.
Thought.
You see, I must tell you, maybe I should tell you some information, and I am sure most of the people know it, that there are two types of strokes. One is ischemic, that means the blood clot comes in the blood vessels, and these blood vessels go to your brain. So once you block those blood vessels by the blood clot, then the blood cannot flow to your brain. And depending on the time, if it is like a few seconds to few minutes, the severity of a stroke will depend on how long the clot is blocking that particular stroke and how long the brain is not getting oxygen through the blood vessels. And that will have a big impact. So that's one type of stroke, which is about 85% of all the strokes are ischemic. Mine was a hemorrhagic stroke. Hemorrhagic, what happens? The blood vessels supplying blood to brain somehow they get ruptured. All of a sudden, there is like AVM, arteriovenous malformation, and the blood oozes out of the blood vessels and soaks the brain, and the brain cells die. And that can really produce massive kind of problems. You may get totally paralyzed, or hemiplegia, or basically the weakness of any side of the body, left side or right side. So anyway, I got a stroke on October 7, 2008. And how it happened? I was in my office at Ohio State University. I was talking to one of my students on the phone uh, and explaining him some pharmacological question. And suddenly, and it went on like 2-3 minutes. And in middle of our conversation, that student shrieked. He said, Dr. Tejwani, you don't make any sense. I said, and I was conscious enough to know. And I asked him, well, why the hell I don't make any sense? And suddenly I heard that I was not explaining him this answer, but I was saying, yeah. And within few seconds, I dropped the phone. And when the student had called me, actually I was having my lunch. It was around 1:30, 2 o'clock of the day. So obviously my student was confused, what is wrong with the Dr. Tejwani? And of course, I had no idea. So the phone was on the ground, with the cord, and I was basically unconscious. And also, it seems I vomited. I vomited on the desk. And so, to summarize, I think the student said something is wrong. So, about 10 or 15 minutes later, he showed up in my office. Because our offices at the universities are private. Whatever we are doing, our secretary is there to tell us a lot of things. Sometimes we are taking little nap, or tired, or thinking about the research. So the secretary, even though she was there, she didn't realize that something is wrong with the Dr. Tejwani. Till my student came and told her, I was talking to Dr. Tejwani and suddenly something happened. And then both of them came and discovered me, and I was lying unconscious, and a lot of vomiting was there, and my lunch box was open. So they, of course, call it what they call in America, we have system 911. That means the emergency vehicle will come very quickly within a couple of minutes. So they called the 911 and the medical squad came with that. And actually I remember because of vomiting, my shirt had become dirty. So they poured some water on me. When I was lying on the ground, they poured on water on me. And medical staff was asking me, Dr. Tejwani, are you okay? Dr. Tejwani, are you okay? And that's how I heard. And after a few seconds, probably I could not know what is wrong with me. So that was the initial stage. Now what happened, I don't know. When I woke up, it was already 2 weeks. 1 week I was in coma because of some reason. And then for 1 week, they induced coma. They said, yeah, my brain needs some rest. And I will tell you what happened. What happened in the hospital initially, the day one after the stroke. First, they looked at my medical record. Medical record was clean. I never, in my 62-year, I never went to the hospital. I used to go only once in a year, October, just a physical examination. So they could not find anything in my record. No blood pressure, no stress, no diabetes, nothing. Then they thought maybe his lunch box was open and he has vomited. Maybe it's the food poisoning. So they were looking for the poisoning. And again, after a few minutes, I don't know how much time they took, maybe an hour, nothing happened. Then they started looking at the cardiovascular things. Or maybe it's a fibrillation or some EKG is wrong. And again, everything came positive. Cardiovascular system was clean. So they wasted about 3-4 hours. And around 6 o'clock, they suspected that maybe he had a stroke. And they did the brain MRI. And there they found, oh my God, there is something AVM. One blood vessel has busted. Now, and the neurosurgeon came there. And when he looked at the MRI, he said, oh my God. And of course, my people, friends, they asked, well, what's the problem? The problem is that a stroke, the blood vessel has ruptured in the brain stem. Brain stem is like a medulla oblongata, which is supposed the brain totally. Brain keeps sitting on that brain stem. And the area where I got the stroke, basically it controls the cardiovascular system. It also controls respiration. It also controls the sleep center. It also controls eyesight, So doctor said, I'm sorry. He told my wife, I'm sorry. Normally I will do the operation to correct the problem. But this area is so sensitive, so close to these lot of regulatory things that it will be wise for me not to do the operation and leave Gopi on the mercy of God. If he wakes up, he will wake up. Otherwise, because we are going to do more damage than to repair the problem. there is more risk involved. And of course, my wife, she had never seen me even suffer from flu or a headache or anything, and she could not realize what could be the problem. So she had a lot of faith that nothing will happen. How come suddenly Gopi is going to go die? So anyway, after 2 weeks, I woke up, and I woke up and my wife was there in emergency room. And the first thing which came out of my mouth was, "Oh, she is my wife." And I was totally confused. Why was I in the hospital? Why my body has become so weak? And meanwhile, in my coma, I was dreaming. There is a outlet mall around Columbus, Ohio, where I and my wife go there and buy things. And then in the dream, I saw that I have gone with my wife. And somebody, after we finished the shopping, somebody arrested me. And when they arrested, they told me that we are going to take you in the hospital. And I never used to see any hospital there. But this was again a hospital who was desperate for new patient. So they took both of us, they put a chastity belt on me so that I have urinary problem, and they admitted. And I was telling them, what will I have to give you so that you can release me? And I had to give 600 pesos. Pesos is uh, Mexican currency, and of course, in a dream, I don't know what the hell was it. But anyway, that was equivalent to $200 at that time in my dream. So that background was in my that was the background in my thought. And when I woke up in the hospital, I was thinking it's the same hospital which has arrested me. And I was thinking in my mind how to run away from the hospital. To the point that even in a dream, I used to show reactions of disappearing from the hospital, leaving the bed, or jumping in the bed. I don't know what I was doing. So to the point that they had to restrain me. They had to put some belt on me and they keep a vigil on me. So this was the background. I was just looking at it. So basically, I had to summarize. It was very painful. I came to know actually one of my postdoctoral fellows, she is from Punjab also, Ravindra Dutt, and she is the one who explained after maybe about 2 days after I woke up that Dr. Tejwani, there was the arterial-venous system which busted in your brain. And after 2 or 3 days, I could understand what has happened and I am suffering from a stroke. And I was so weak. I could not believe. The whole right side of the body was weak. And basically, I think what happened is that for about 3 months, I was in the wheelchair. About 6 months, I was on leave of absence. I could not go. About 2-3 years, I was in therapy. Maybe 3 years in therapy. It took about 3 years to learn how to drive again. And I had to learn how to drive with my left foot instead of my right foot. And I had to drive with one hand only, which I still do with one hand and one left foot. And I returned to teaching after 6 months. But after 4 years of teaching again, I said I had to retire because I was, my right hand is so weak. So you can see, I can hardly open it. So when I used to use left hand to lift the big medical book, I used to drop on the ground. And if you are a professor in the US in a major university, you are doing not only teaching, but you are doing also research. So you have to basically write the grants on the computer, compete for the money. So it was getting very little difficult for me, you know, to write the grant and type the grant with one hand only. So then anyway, I started to retire after 4 years. That time I was at the university for 36 years. So I could retire very comfortably, you know. I had enough years of service that I did not have to worry about the money. So I retired about 36 years back. It took me about 5 years or 6 years to feel comfortable with driving. Initially, if I drive, it looked like it used to be, oh my God, I had to drive again. I had to I had to take, my wife doesn't drive. So I had to drive again. I had to go in there. But now I'm very comfortable. But it took about 6 years. So since about last 7 years, I am comfortable in driving. I still cannot run. I can now write with my, even though this hand is bad, but if I hold the pen with the two fingers, then I can write. I can pay my bills. I can put my signature. And if I write it long, then I write it through my smartphone by verbal detection, or I use my computer. In short, I think life is comfortable. I realize to be happy, you basically had to accept your body. You have to realize your limitations. You cannot basically cry over the spilled milk. That, oh my God, I was very energetic. I used to do things. Those are the past now. Now you're the challenge yourself. You have to go through therapy. You have to do exercise every day. Even now, when I get up in the morning, I try to raise my hands and do like this exercise, open and close my hand at least 20, 25 times every day. First thing in morning, And as far as my friends are concerned, I think they were just too good. They were, when I was in coma, they were taking my wife and bringing the food and taking care of my house and my wife. And, initially I did not know that in Columbus City, there is a mini bus. It looks like a van. Bus is for disabled people. They come to your house, pick me up and take to the hospital. But I did not know initially for a few months. So my friends used to kick, and then my wife, as I said, doesn't drive. So they used to take me to the hospital twice, thrice a week for about 6 months. So I had a great friend, they were very helpful. Even now I have good friends. I never change myself. I still interact with them. I am very jovial. I like a lot of sports and, always talk about the sports. Now, of course, I'm retired. So to keep me busy, I am a member of many card clubs and we play cards regularly, at least once in a week, with the different groups. So life is comfortable. And as I told Deep, that a few years back, I wrote the book, on a stroke, and that book is basically I survived, stroke, and through that book, I came to know a lot of people, lot of Facebook stroke group have contacted me because of that. So I have given similar lectures to many stroke groups. Some of my lectures are already on the YouTube. And right now, basically, my idea is to help people. I'm not trying to make money out of my book or trying to be known as a great author. That's not the intention. The intention is that somebody, if he wants to read the whole story,
Okay.
I think it's
It
just
is,
background noise.
yeah, there was some background. I'm muted.
Yeah. So basically, I think because of that, I have come to know a lot of Facebook group, and they keep me busy because I write a weekly column for them. And the idea of column is not only describe my ordeal, but also tell them how I overcame the ordeal by working hard, by having willpower, by having support from my family and friends, and a positive outlook in life. That forget what happened, try to see how you can best help yourself now. Don't worry about what has happened earlier. Try to do exercise, try to go to therapy, try to keep moving your limbs all the time, and basically look forward. You can always find some people in your life who are not as well off as you are. You are much more healthier than a lot of millions of people. You have more money than maybe many millions of other people. So there are people who don't have food on their table, people who are there who suffer from cancer and other very severe diseases. I am happy that I don't have any other disease now, and I actually the best thing for me happened maybe two or three things. One is I could drive again. That was a very happy thing. I could write again. And my neurosurgeon, after my stroke and after he gave me what we call gamma knife surgery, I can explain to people what it is. He had told me that, Gopi, your brain has healed, angiogram is very positive. You are as normal as I am. You can get second stroke. The possibility is as much as this. I have the possibility of getting my stroke. So you should not worry, carry on your life. And there is nothing else I can do. Nothing else has to be done. And hereafter, you are normal and only come to see me if you want to say hello to me. So those words came very soothing that my neurosurgeon is so confident about my health, then I had help. And as I told you, the Columbus bus for disabled people, that Columbus bus for disabled people used to pick me and some pick other disabled people. And in one day, I saw two teenage blind girls, totally blind. And they were still working. America is a beautiful place for disabled people and a lot of help. So anyway, they were working and they were just gossiping among each other about their supervisor. That, oh, I gave them hell, I gave them hell, and they were giggling. And I was amazed to see them happy. And for them, it was just a normal conversation, normal life, normally criticizing supervisor. So when I looked at those girls, I don't know, it happened 10 years back. I said, my God, how happy they are. Why can't I be happy? Why the hell I had to cry when somebody asked me about my stroke? So that made me very strong. It changed my outlook, and I believe in living again. So right now, my aim is to help stroke victims, stroke survivors, actually not victims, and as much as I can do. So I think this, in summary, this is my summary. And I did not say about a lot of medical treatments which they did to me, and varieties of therapies I went through. But now I can open this to a question, and you can ask me anything now.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Gopi Saab. Indeed, it is great and inspiring to hear your experiences. I had some queries, and of course, I will come back again and again. I was just curious, sir, because this is something that happens in our groups also very often. When you were in the hospital and when you were, maybe being discharged, was there, what was the approach of the doctors at that time? Ki kitna time lagega, kitni recovery hogi? I mean, these are natural questions, one asks. Doctor Saab, how fast will be my recovery? When will I be fully recovered? So what was the approach of doctors or the people who were returning to you at that time? Were they able to give you a timeline? Were they able to say anything at that time, at the time of discharge?
Doctor said nothing. They were just concentrating on my day-to-day recovery and how better I am getting. And I was totally confused, even though I am also well-read person and a medical professor. So I should have known about the stroke and other things. But since I had no problem and I never tried to understand the stroke that time, so I was totally confused myself. So I think, as I said, my son is a doctor in California. And when I suffered from a stroke, he used to come every week from California to Ohio, 2,500 miles, every week for 6 weeks till I was stabilized. So I used to ask my son, and I was more worried about, because I had to teach a course within about 3 months. So I wanted to be ready for that course in 3 months maximum. So I used to ask my son, when I'll be, when I'll become okay, when I'll become good. And he also said, I don't know. It will make time. So will I be ready in 6 weeks or 12 weeks? And he'll say, not necessarily, not necessarily. You may become all right, but you may not become all right. So I think they knew that there is no quick recovery, but they don't want to dishearten by telling you that your life has changed, And in my case, that AVM, the blood vessel which busted, it can be potentiated. Of course, it was repaired by God by itself. But then the doctors can potentiate. So after 2 months after November, December, January, about 4 months later, basically my brain has to go through gamma knife radiation. This is gamma radiation they bombard in the brain, in that particular vessel, and potentiate to grow it. So it becomes more stronger and stronger. And in that case, in my case also, it did become stronger. And my angiogram was successful, and my doctor was very pleased. But to answer your question, they don't And the main thing is that they don't reveal the information because it will dishearten. Every stroke victim was very energetic before it happened. And when it happens, they suddenly become very weak. So to tell that guy the recovery is going to be slow and it may take years for you to come up could be very disheartening. So that's why they never reveal, I guess.
True, I hear you, sir. And also talking of therapies, Dr. Saab, did you also, were these traditional, allopathic therapies mainly, or did you also take resort to sometimes to alternative therapies such as, acupuncture, maybe those kind of, did you ever had the motivation to try that, or you were relying solely on the mainstream treatments?
I tell you one thing. I was surprised that there are no drugs per se for a stroke. Only there are drugs because if you have other complications because of a stroke, if you have, of course, you can also treat the underlying causes, which could be diabetes, high blood pressure. So you can take antihypertensive drugs or, take insulin or metformin or basically they can, if you have pain, they can give pain medication, but there are no drugs. When you say allopathy or homeopathy, they will not do anything to a stroke. They will only treat the underlying condition, or if you have developed some complication after you suffer from a stroke. So I'll give example in my case. After I got a stroke, they used to take me for therapy. One day, I came back from therapy in the hospital. While in the hospital, my doctor examined my, blood pressure and everything, and he found that my heart rate was very high, and he was surprised. And it maybe he said it is related to a clot formation also. It can raise the heart rate also. So I had to go through the lungs MRI to see if there is any clot, and of course the MRI came negative. What happened is that in the brain stem where my blood vessel ruptured, as I told you, that there is a brain nucleus, which controls this, heart rate, also cardiovascular system. So that causes damage. It's called pontine nuclei. And because of that, my heart rate increased, and they wanted to slow down my heart rate to normal level. And then they gave me a drug called metoprolol. So that's the only drug I have taken after the stroke. And basically, as I mentioned, there is no treatment for a stroke. And what you hear people acupressure, acupuncture, or other things may be related to some abnormality produced as a result of a stroke. And they are correcting those abnormalities. So I won't be able to comment in terms of which is better for the person, allopathic or homeopathic or Ayurvedic. But I did also take this to remove the spasticity in my legs. They also gave me 4 times a Botox injection. Botox injection. Botox is basically a toxin which can normalize. It can relax the muscles. So, but in my case, it did not happen. They were totally useless but so I think the medicine I got was metoprolol, which I still take it 4 times Botox, it didn't help it. And I had complained when I was in the hospital that I cannot sleep at night. So sometimes they used to give me sleep medication, and then gradually I stopped taking that medication also. Once I returned to my home, I still have problem in sleeping, but sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and then for 2 hours I cannot sleep, and then go back to sleep again. So I am still able to sleep 6 to 7 hours, even though I may be in the bed for 9, 10 hours.
I hear you, sir. So mainly, as I understand, sir, you relied upon physiotherapy in the hospital and later for your recovery. That would be the main course of treatment.
Yeah, I guess recovery, I will say the main credit goes for recovery is basically I am in a relatively good health. That one. I went to therapy for 3 years, kept working very hard at home. I used to do exercise at home, dumbbell belts and other things. I also give credit to my habit of walking 1 hour every day, even now. 13 years after the stroke, I still walk 1 hour a day every day. So that helps me mental healing and physical healing. I also eat a lot of vegetables, raw vegetables, a lot of raw fruits, they bring a lot of nutrients, so I think they are also helping me. Basically, there is no day goes back when I have not at least 5, 6 serving of fruits and vegetables and raw. And of course, the family support, the support from the friend is also very critical. You have to live happy life with your wife, with your friends. You have to also keep looking forward. Those things are also helping.
True.
But if you have problem as a result of a stroke, and if you have some pain or something other, then of course the doctors are there to help you. But you personally have to be an optimistic, self-determined person to make your life worthwhile and forget what has happened. That is very important. That don't basically keep harping on, oh, I was such a good person. I was, very energetic, and I used to run 2 miles every day. Those days are gone. They are gone. Now look forward. What can you do now? And do as much as you can do. Every day will help you. Recovery, I realize that recovery from a stroke is very slow. I did not realize. I must say, I did not realize that to see the improvement in a person, you have to do months of exercise, therapy, and other things.
True. I will again come back to you, Dr. Saab, but I will also open this up to any of the participants. If they want to ask anything, please raise your hand and we will come to you. Anything that you would like to share, anything that you would like to ask. I'm seeing some questions in the chat also, but we'll come to that later. At this moment, if anyone wants to speak up, share their experiences or ask Dr. Gopi anything, just please raise your hands and I will, I'll come to you. If there are any things that you would like to share or any you would like to ask. Meanwhile, then I will take up that question in the chat. There are two things that I'm seeing. Okay, we'll go to Subhashi has raised his hand. I'll go to him, and then we have also Dr. Partha with us. Gopiji, he's coming in from UK, very renowned neurologist and a strong support to us. And then Winston ji is also there. So we'll go to Ji, and then Dr. Partha, and then Wilson ji. Subhash ji, you can unmute yourself and maybe ask your question or your thoughts, please.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your experience, sir. Did you had any speech problem, sir? And if you had, what was the therapy that you did for it, sir?
You know, it's very interesting. When I woke up from the stroke 2 weeks after being in coma, my wife was saying all the time that we had a difficulty in understanding you. The doctors had difficulty in understanding you. You had a speech problem. And that is very surprising because when I was talking to people, it was very clear in my mind what I want to talk and what I'm saying. I did not realize that there is some lag in my thinking and in my expression. So basically, no, I think I did not go through speech therapy because I had problem maybe I would say 2 or 3 weeks after, not even 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks after I got up from the stroke, and I had no speech therapy problem. I did not take any therapy in speech, but I did take occupational therapy, physical therapy, cognitive therapy, and since I am a professor at the university and after 6 months I wanted to go and teach in the university, I had to give a lecture to my therapy staff, which was about 20 people, on a problem which they can understand. I had to explain to them. I gave a good lecture and they appreciated that now I can return to my teaching. So I had to prove that. And also during therapy, in that cognitive therapy, they used to give me some research papers and tell me to read those papers and then summarize through them to see whether I'm comprehending that particular thing. Before that, of course, in the occupational therapy and some other therapy classes, they used to give me some map reading and quantitative problems that I went to spend $6 and they spend so much money and how much I return and how many shirts I bought. So it's a very simple problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll speak to Dr. Partha. Welcome here, Dr. Partha. Please share your thoughts.
नमस्कार प्रोफेसर तेजवानी, मेरा नाम पार्थो है। मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ कि अंग्रेजी में बोलना पड़ेगा?
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
ठीक है सर, नमस्ते सर। बहुत अच्छा लगा कि मेरा आप जैसा कोलीग है, आपका इतना पर्सनल बीमारी के बारे में इतना कुछ भाषा से हमें सब इन्फॉर्म किए हैं। तो मेरा एक प्रश्न है, 3 प्रश्न है एक्चुअली। आप डॉक्टर नहीं होते तो ये स्ट्रोक बीमारी से जो लड़े हैं आप और जो जय विजय किए हैं स्ट्रोक को, ये डॉक्टर होने से आपको कुछ बेनिफिट मिला, माने कि सुविधा हुआ कि डॉक्टर होने से असुविधा हुआ? क्योंकि आप कॉन्टाइन हेमरेज, एवीएम, गामा नाइफ, बहुत सारे, मैं न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट हूँ, पेशेंट है। आप हाँ सर, नमस्ते। इसीलिए आपका डॉक्टर होने से आपका सुविधा हुआ कि असुविधा हुआ, ये मैं जानना चाहता हूँ।
I think it's a little complicated answer because see, right now I'm in many Facebook stroke survivor supporting groups. So readers ask me a lot of questions. They express a lot of concerns. And a lot of readers are not doctors and they are totally confused about the stroke, they have no idea. The recovery will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So जो आपका आप सवाल जो पूछ रहे हैं उसमें basically I think since I am knowledgeable about human body and the blood vessels and the blood flow to the brain and the structure of brain, I think मेरे लिए तो सुविधा की बात है कि मैं इतनी बात समझ सकता हूँ. You know, otherwise what happens? जैसे you don't want, you think that your body is very mysterious. A stroke comes as very frightening thought कि मेरे को पता नहीं क्या हो गया. If I am not knowledgeable, I will be totally frightened कि क्या हो गया भाई मेरे को. You know, एकदम में तो ठीक था अभी और आज ये हो गया. Without understanding the physiology and what exactly happened. I'll give example. अभी मैं इंडिया में आता हूँ. Even after a stroke, I visited India for 5 times. तो एक बार मैं पूना में गया था. पूना में एक मूवी देखने के लिए आफ्टर द स्ट्रोक. एंड एक आदमी आया मेरे पास, बोले मैं आपको बहुत ठीक कर दूंगा आपका स्ट्रोक. मैंने कहा कैसे ठीक करोगे? बोले नहीं कुछ नहीं, वो आप ये आपकी जो बाह है ना, जो आपकी बाह नहीं चल रही है, उसको मैं पिजन के ब्लड से नहलाऊंगा और आपकी बाह ठीक हो जाएगी. So if I was not a doctor, I would have believed him. And I said, here is a guy who probably not realize the difference between structural difference between liver and brain. He is telling me he can repair my arms, you know, which came from different action of brain, and it is not responding to my brain command. Will be corrected by vision blood. So ऐसे एक आदमी मेरे को नहीं मिला. नागपुर में भी 2-3 लोग मिले, पुणे में और भी कुछ साधु लोग मिले कि भाई हमारे आश्रम में आओ, हम आपको ठीक कर देंगे. So maybe I would have believed if I was not a knowledgeable person in biochemistry and physiology. And this is the only request I did to my wife. मैंने कहा कभी मेरे पर कोई प्रेशर नहीं लगाना कि भाई ब्लड यूज करो या किसी साधु के पास जाओ, एक आदमी ठीक हो गया. Because stroke is such a variable condition that a lot of people suffer from many strokes and they can become all right by themselves in a day or in a week or in a month. And there are some people who will never, you know, recover for years, or their recovery will be slow. So yeah, so summarize the answer, मेरे को फायदा हुआ to be doctor in this field.
अच्छा सर, दूसरा प्रश्न सोदी जी हम कर सकते हैं? और प्रोफेसर तेजवानी, और एक प्रश्न था, 7 साल हो गया आपका स्ट्रोक हुआ है. हम तो देख ही पा रहे हैं कि आपका राइट साइड ठीक तरह से जितना आप चाहते हैं घुमाने का.
13 साल.
हाँ सर, 13 साल. अच्छा ठीक,
स्ट्रोक 13 साल.
सॉरी सर. अच्छा, तो आपका क्या लाइफ से खो गया है जो हम देख पा रहे हैं? जो आप राइट साइड मूव नहीं कर पा रहे हैं वो तो सभी देख पा रहे हैं, लेकिन उससे और क्या क्या लॉसेस हुआ है आपका?
आई थिंक मैंने कहा जैसे आप पहले कि I would a little bit more problem if I don't have the modern amenities. The loss क्या होगा सबसे बड़ा है कि आपको जैसे ये हाथ है, अब जैसे मैं नहाता हूँ तो पूरी बॉडी को साबुन लगाऊं तो ये राइट इतना ज्यादा पीछे नहीं जा सकता और एक हाथ से ज्यादा काम करना पड़ता है. So ये right hand is a little bit difficult to use to take the bath. I cannot even open jar. जैसे मेरे wife sometimes she tells me, can you open a jar, jam jar or peanut butter jar? Then I cannot really open any jar with that. I cannot hold a cup of tea in my right hand and go there. I am basically even a glass full of water, I cannot go 10 or 15 feet without spilling it. I had to like a half cup of water, to hold in my hand. So these are the difficulties. I cannot, I retired early because I used to drop the heavy books because I had to take the heavy books with one hand. I
नहीं सर,
cannot write a long letter, which I used to write earlier. But of course, the technology has changed, and now the phone calls are very, very common between India and America. But earlier, I used to write a big letter. So those letters are the history anyway. But I cannot write. I can comfortably write maybe one sentence, and very slowly. So these are the problems. I think, but how do I circumvent this problem? It's like a writing. I can, instead of writing, I can type with one hand. I wrote a whole book on a stroke with one hand. But it takes more time, but that's the way. See, that's what you have to accept, that you are a changed person. Your personality has changed. The way you work has changed. So instead of, 15 minutes writing a page, I write a page in 1 hour, you know. So
प्रोफेसर
those
शाह,
are,
प्रोफेसर मेरा प्रश्न कुछ अलग सा था। मैं थोड़ा आपको पर्सनल प्रश्न कर रहा हूँ, इसीलिए बुरा मत मानिए और मुझे क्षमा कर दीजिए, क्योंकि आप बहुत ईमानदार आदमी हैं। क्योंकि मेरा भी स्ट्रोक हो सकता है, मेरा भी डायबिटीज है 15 साल से। तो बात है कि मैं समझना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि ये प्रश्न मैं हमारा अपना पेशेंट को नहीं कर पाता हूँ, क्योंकि ये पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है ना। मैं आउटसाइड प्रोफेशनल एरिना चला जाऊंगा, लेकिन आप कॉलीग हैं और ये पेशेंट फोरम है, इसीलिए एक तो स्ट्रोक पेशेंट का पर्सपेक्टिव कैसा है, उनका देख कैसा है, ये मैं जानना चाहता हूँ। मेरा प्रश्न यही था कि आप जो फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम बोल रहे थे वो तो हम समझ गए, वो तो कष्ट होता है, होता रहेगा, धीरे धीरे कम होते जा रहा है। शायद एकदम 13 साल पहले आप जैसे थे उस तरह आप नहीं जा पाएंगे, वो तो आप एक्सेप्ट ही कर लिए हैं। लेकिन अब जो पढ़ाना चाहते थे, जैसे कि प्रोफेसर थे, बड़े बड़े किताब ग्रांट्स लिखते थे, जो हम लिखते हैं वो काम करते हैं, और वहां आने के लिए कितना मेहनत करना पड़ता है और उसको मेंटेन करने के लिए कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट करना पड़ता है साइकोलॉजिकल, वो हठात से चला गया। क्योंकि आप इतना बड़ा स्ट्रोक के बावजूद आप 6 महीने के अंदर पढ़ाने के लिए चले गए, इतना पैशनेट थे पढ़ाने के लिए, वही आपका लाइफ था। तो हठात करके ये स्ट्रोक वो सब आपसे ले लिया, तो आपको कैसा लगता है? आप बोलते कि कल जैसा था आज मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ, लेकिन आप तो ये बोल दिए, लेकिन ये अंदर में महसूस करना, एडजस्ट करना, अडेप्ट करना, सॉरी मेरा हिंदी उतना अच्छा नहीं है कि हम इतना हिंदी का शब्द जाने। आप समझ पा रहे हैं कि यदि मेरा भी ऐसा हो जाए, हो ही सकता है कल, तो कैसे कोप करें, कैसे उससे मना के चले। आपका लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस ही आप पूछ रहे हैं, आप बोल सके तो ठीक है, ये डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है तो छोड़ दीजिए, ये पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है सर।
नहीं, मैंने कहा ना कि बेसिकली देखो, अभी यदि मेरे काम ऐसा होता है, इफ आई एम ए कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर, तो वो तो बड़ा मुश्किल होगा काम। आई कुड नॉट वर्क एज ए कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर आफ्टर स्ट्रोक बिकॉज I have balancing problem. I had to, cannot stand properly. My right leg is still weak and right arm is very weak. Research, I could not type the research grants mainly because I had to type with one hand. It takes more time. In the laboratory, I could not work. I used to work myself also with my students and postdoctoral fellows. Those things I cannot do because I may spill the beaker, I may spill the solution. And as far as the retiring from the work, I retired mainly, I think, because I had already put about 36 years of service by that time. 4 years after the stroke and 32 years before. So basically, I think I retired also with that thing also that I can retire because I put the service. But the main problem was, going to the classroom, at least, getting up from the bed. Sometimes I cannot even sleep properly. And then I had to be in the classroom at 7:30 a.m. in morning. So those things are getting very difficult to do it, and that's why I retired.
ठीक है सर, बहुत अच्छा। आपसे कुछ प्रश्न कर लिए, बुरा मत मानिए। अब मैं आपको बहुत रिकवरी शुभकामनाएं हम सबका तरफ से आपके लिए।
पर आपको जवाब तो मिल गया ना आपके सवाल का?
कुछ मिला है, आपसे बहुत ज्यादा प्रेरणा मिला है, शक्ति मिला है, हम सबको मिला है, ताकि हम आपका लड़ाई देख करके बहुत प्रेरणा मिला है कि कैसे जीवन का जब मोड़ में आते हैं, जानते तो नहीं है कि मोड़ क्या पीछे क्या रहता है, लेकिन जो मोड़ में भी हम मुड़ते हैं ताकि फिर चल सके, इसका साहस मिल गया है आपसे, आपका बात सुनने के बाद।
Thank you.
One never knows what lies around the corner. मेरा अंग्रेजी अच्छा है, लेकिन मैं अंग्रेजी में बोलना पसंद नहीं होता भारतीय के साथ।
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, मैं भी हिंदी बात कर सकता हूँ एक्चुअली।
हाँ, तो ठीक है सर, तो मैं साइंस का प्रश्न करेंगे। तो आपका स्ट्रोक होने के बाद, आपको तो राइट साइडेड स्ट्रोक हुआ है, डिस्पेसिया हुआ है, तो आप हिंदी जैसा, आप तो हिंदी भाषा भाषी है ना, आपको तो अंग्रेजी सेकंड लैंग्वेज होगा। सिंधी हो, तो आपको पंजाबी या हिंदी?
But I think up to my matric, I had a Hindi medium.
तो हाँ, ठीक है, तो इंग्लिश आपका सेकंड लैंग्वेज है, मेरे जैसा बंगला फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज है, अंग्रेजी और हिंदी बराबर सेकंड लैंग्वेज हो रहा है, अभी तो अंग्रेजी थर्ड लैंग्वेज हो गया। तो स्ट्रोक के बाद आपका जो भाषा का जो प्रयोग का बात है, उसमें आपको कौन लैंग्वेज में पहला सुविधा मिला, हिंदी में या अंग्रेजी में? मैं फॉरेन लैंग्वेज सिंड्रोम के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ। आप जैसा कि प्रोफेसर हैं, आप तो समझ ही पाएंगे कि हिंदी आसान से आया स्ट्रोक के बाद या अंग्रेजी आसान से आया। अब जानते हैं कि सेकंड लैंग्वेज जो होता है वो बाद में आता है, फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज तुरंत चला आता है। तो आपका पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस में कैसा हुआ था?
Actually, मेरा between Hindi and English, I don't think I can say one way or other which was better, easier for me. I think when before the stroke, there are people always ask you, when you dream, in what language you dream. So it used to be for a long time I should dream in Sindhi. And but lately I think I dream in English, sometimes Hindi, sometimes Hindi. So it's basically again a true reflection of your life, that it could be any language. But as far as the expression is concerned, I have no problem talking Hindi, Hindi or English. I can express my mind in all the three languages equally.
हाँ, दिन का बाद तीनों लैंग्वेज में बराबर आया, लेकिन रात का सपने का भाषा मातृभाषा में वापस हो गया, ऐसे ही बोलना है, आप बोल रहे हैं ना जी?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. अभी
फॉरेन लैंग्वेज सिंड्रोम तो वैसे ही आता है सर, पहले का दूसरा भाषा सब निकल जाता है, बाद में आता है, लेकिन मातृभाषा पहले आता है। वैसे ही आपने ड्रीम में तो सर हम आपका वर्बलाइजेशन हुआ था मिसेस तेजवानी की, आपको हिंदी में सिंधी में सपने का टाइम बोलने सुने कि आप इंटरनल लैंग्वेज बोल रहे हैं। आप कौन सा लैंग्वेज सिंधी में जैसा आप सपने देख रहे थे, वो आपका अंदर का भाषा बोल रहे हैं कि आप सपने में कभी कभी हम बोल भी देते हैं, तो बेड पार्टनर जो होते हैं वो बोलते हैं कि तुम अंग्रेजी या बंगला या सिंधी में बात कर रहे हैं। तो आप मिसेस तेजवानी सुने थे?
कभी उन्होंने कुछ कहा?
इंटरनल स्पीच था।
कभी 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 कहा तो नहीं है उसने, कह रहे आप तो नींद में बात कर रहे थे.
हाँ.
And actually I have noticed sometimes my wife talks in dreams, but I cannot comprehend what she talks because the sound I hear is like that, you know. So maybe she is still thinking in her language, whatever she's thinking, but the sound which I hear is not comprehensible. I can.
हाँ, ड्रीम पे तो रिसर्च पृथ्वी में कहीं पे नहीं हुआ है सर. ड्रीम हम सब ह्यूमन बीइंग्स दिन में 24 घंटे में 8 घंटा सोते हैं, ये सोना चाहिए, लेकिन ये पीरियड 8 घंटा में तो पृथ्वी में कहीं पे रिसर्च कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. लेकिन कितना कुछ होता है हमारे एक्सपीरियंस में, ये तो फ्यूचर रिसर्च में है. ठीक है सर, मैं बाकी जितने सारे पार्टिसिपेंट हैं वो भी प्रश्न करना चाहेंगे, लेकिन मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामना देना चाहता हूँ आपको और बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपको कि मेरा प्रश्न अब ये है. आपका बहुत सारे पर्सनल लाइफ स्टोरी हमें बताए हैं, इसके लिए हम बहुत थैंकफुल है आपके. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Dr. Saab, Dr. Partha. Wilson ji has also raised his hands. Wilson Saab, if you can unmute yourself, maybe say your thoughts.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sodhi ji and Dr. Tejwani sir.
Hanji.
And Dr. Partha sir, I was listening to the conversation what two doctors were making it, and fortunately also what you can say that I am also a microbiologist and also an advocate. I'm practicing medical legal right now. So anyway, so my question is basically to you, Dr. Tejwani sir, is that one example you have given that you are in Pune and one person sitting next to you in the film theater, she said that he will apply some blood of pigeon, and it might of course it will be a a faith type of healing, faith healing like that, or what, I don't know exactly faith healing is, because I told you that I am microbiologist and I believe my treatment right now is going on with antiplatelet therapy and anti-blood pressure therapy. That is, I am taking right now telemarcetidine, amlodipine, clopidogrel, atorvastatin also, along with that aspirin and B complex tablets. So sir, the treatment, since you are a biochemist basically and also a lecturer sir, so the treatment what a person, you have also taken Botox toxin, so the treatment what you have been taking, or which has been helpful along with the physiotherapy and speech therapy also, and other therapies you have taken, occupational therapies also, what therapy has basically helped you more? Can you please elaborate it, or can you please tell us, sir?
I think if we compare all the therapies, I think I'll give the credit to physical therapy involving exercise. It used to be that when I woke up in the hospital, in the rehabilitation hospital, the very first day when I woke up, they took me to therapy. And you know what? I could not even walk a few steps. To walk 20 feet, 25 feet, 3 people were holding me. I was so weak. 3 people, therapy stuff. And then for about 2 weeks, they had to suspend my body in some tapes, that I don't get hurt or I don't fall down. So they had to strap me in such a way that I may not be able to fall, but I can still do the exercise. So that week I was. From that, I have come to now where I can walk 1 hour a day and drive my car. And so I think physical therapy far best, I think. Second, I will say it was occupational therapy. In occupational therapy, they look at the dexterity, they make sure that I will be able to work. So they used to give me like a screwdriver and tighten the screw and a lot of other small quantitative problems. They used to call me occupational therapy, whether my thinking is straight. It could be as simple as counting backward from 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, like this. So I think in general, I will urge the people to really go through your therapy, take as long as the therapy staff wants you to take the therapy. And just please remember that any improvement you see will be not detected next day. It will take some weeks, months, or years to see some improvement, but you will definitely improve. So basically, as I said, I'll give credit to physical therapy more than anything else.
I think, thank you.
Sir,
Wilson ji, yes, you have another
uh,
question? Yeah.
yes, yeah, with basically Dr. Sejwani sir, basically, as you have emphasized on physical therapy or occupational therapy, of course, exercising part is much more important. But what about the medicines which we are going to take, or what about the antiplatelet therapy? What we are actually taking, most of the people are taking, or atorvastatin for to lower the cholesterol, or to do the tablets, what exactly we are taking, the medicines what we are taking, or as you said that the Unani thing, like I gave the example of the blood, basically the Unani uses this thing, or Ayurveda also they ask to or I myself personally chew some pan, and along with that garlic and that ginger, I put it into some quantity, and I take that, which I have also mentioned it. It is really I mean effective. Sometimes it has got properties which will thin the blood. But I would like to say, sir, how much do you rate about the medicines which is taken by your with your alimentary canal, or with the physical therapy also? So can you please elaborate on this, sir?
See, it all depends on what kind of problems you have. Now you gave me the example of how you take atorvastatin. It's a very good drug, atorvastatin. If you have cholesterol which is very high in your body, it will definitely cut the production of cholesterol. So atorvastatin or amlodipine, if you have high blood pressure, those things are going to help. As far as the platelet concern, it could be also that you see platelets rich plasma or platelet cell or a mixture of anything, any cells which contain stem cells. I think they may help stroke victims. It helps in many various ways, and I am a great admirer of stem cell therapy. But that's a budding research, and one way we cannot, one way or other, we can conclude it that it is really very useful. But there is a substance, there is evidence that stem cells can be regenerated to make a tissue growth, and maybe they will be able to remove spasticity one day. So basically, to answer the question, I think the drugs are useful to treat your underlying causes or subsequent causes or whatever medical problem you have. We have come a very long way using the drugs. As far as the correcting the brain problems, I think it will take still more time. That by the time we are able to, solve the problem and make brain normal as it was normal before the stroke, will take a long time. Does it answer your question?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure.
Dr. Gopi will just take one in the chat. We have a question. I think it is from Shruti. Says, sir, it was an inspiration to listen to you. Can you please elaborate about the radiation therapy you were put to, and is it available in India? And what are the circumstances under which such therapy is suggested? If you're aware of whether availability, etc., I don't know if you can comment upon that, but what was the therapy, if you can elaborate upon that? And we are almost at 8:20. After this, I think we can perhaps finish the chat. I one more question I will ask you after this, but first,
Yeah,
request you
you
to
know,
answer.
I can answer. I am not in a hurry, so if somebody
Okay,
else
fair
has
enough.
the question,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I
And we'll see
can
how it
yes,
goes. Yeah. Mhm.
But see, gamma knife radiation, the therapy was it started maybe, I don't know, 15 to no, not maybe 20, 25 years back in Sweden. And the idea of a gamma knife therapy is to repair the blood vessels. It can grow epithelial cells and make blood vessels very potent. It's very pinpointed therapy. I had to go through 45 minutes of gamma radiation, but took me about maybe 13 hours of preparation in the hospital. They put a crown, crown mold on your right in skull, and through that, it's a very pinpointed radiation coming. And when you are in the chamber from where the radiation is coming, you cannot, you are totally immobilized, and you cannot move your head, you cannot do anything. So the therapy itself is also very expensive. I think even in US, I think they charge my insurance company something like $50,000 per 45 minutes of treatment. So I am not sure how widespread it is in India. Maybe you have to do the Google search to find out whether gamma knife surgery is available in India and how much it will cost. But as far as I am concerned, my neurosurgeon was extremely happy by that treatment. And after the gamma knife surgery, I had to go through angiogram, and he was very happy to see angiogram that my blood vessels are repaired and the blood flow in my brain is okay now. But I must also tell you that when I went through gamma knife surgery, I had to sign a consent form 1 week before, not on the same day, consent form to go through the treatment one week before. And what was written in the consent form? That I can become blind, or I can become totally paralyzed, or I could stop breathing, or finally I could die. I said, well, what is there left? I was just joking with the doctor. What is there left? But they wanted to cover their, liabilities, and we had to go through. But somehow it worked for me. So it's not for the people who are suffering from ischemic stroke, that somebody who has the blood clot, he will need the gamma radiation. For them, I think they need a tissue plasminogen activator, TPA, or some other clot busters.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. And Dr. Partha has also put some links in the chat that we can look into. Anyone?
Yes, I was putting in some gamma knife. हाँ, मैं कुछ प्रश्न था श्रुति गोयल जी से, इसीलिए गामा नाइफ भारतवर्ष में होता है. हम सिर्फ गूगल सर्च कर रहे थे जब प्रोफेसर तेजवानी बोल रहे थे कि उनका $50,000 लगा. लेकिन इंडिया में मैं एक तो सिर्फ न्यूज आइटम से निकाल रहा हूँ. $7,000, क्योंकि यहाँ तो थर्ड पार्टी पेमेंट नहीं होगा, यहाँ तो फर्स्ट पार्टी पेमेंट होगी, इसीलिए शायद, और ओवरहेड कॉस्ट कम है। और बात है कि ना, गामा नाइफ सर्जरी इज अवेलेबल इन इंडिया and it's a well practiced and there are very competent surgeons doing it. इसीलिए मैं जस्ट सिर्फ बाकी जो है यहाँ पे गामा नाइफ जैसा कि बातचीत हो रहा है, मैं तो सिर्फ इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करके तुरंत डाल दिया। मेयो क्लिनिक्स का है यहाँ पे और इंडिया नेट में भी है। गामा नाइफ इंडिया में हो रहा है।
Whether that treatment is covered by insurance, I am something worth exploring.
इंडिया में आपको तो खबर लेना पड़ेगा सोगी साहब कि हमारा मेडक्लेम वेबसाइट में जाइए, वहां पे मिल जाएगा ये प्रोसीजर कवर्ड है कि नहीं। हाँ, लेकिन सीलिंग लिमिट हो सकता है। अभी तो इंश्योरेंस मार्केट, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस मार्केट इंडिया में बहुत पेनिट्रेट कर चुका है, इसीलिए जब यूनिवर्सल कवरेज रहेगा, स्कीम पे डिपेंड करता है। किसी को मैं यदि 30,000 रुपया साल में दे रहा हूँ तो पे आउट तो भी ज्यादा होगा ना।
Right.
हाँ, स्कीम पे डिपेंड करता है, लेकिन बात यह है कि ये फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल है। आज नहीं, बहुत सा 5 या 10 साल से अवेलेबल है, क्योंकि सीमेंस वगैरह जितना सारा कंपनी है उसको तो इंस्ट्रूमेंट बेचना पड़ेगा। इंडिया में तो बहुत सारा ये चीज बेचे जाते हैं, क्योंकि मार्केट बहुत बड़ा है। और हेल्थ टूरिज्म के लिए तो सारे के सारा मिडिल ईस्ट इंडिया में आता है चिकित्सा के लिए, इंग्लैंड से भी जाएगा। अमेरिका का बात मैं नहीं जानता, लेकिन हमारा सर्जन लोग जो हैं, डॉक्टर्स लोग जो हैं, एकदम टॉप क्लास है, एकदम टॉप मोस्ट क्लास है। हम तो इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं डॉक्टर बाहर में। जैसे कि मैं देखिए, मैं तो एक्सपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट हूँ ना। मैं अपने के एग्जांपल दे हमारा तेजवानी साहब भी तो एक्सपोर्टेड बायोकेमिस्ट है 50 साल से। तो देखिए ना, हमारा मोदी जी को तो आज सुबह में ही बाइडेन जी बोले कि आप ही का देशवासी हमारा अमेरिका का तरक्की किए हैं। और अभी अभी बोले कि जो इंदिरा सुई है, जो कोका कोला का चेयरमैन है, वो सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन किया है। ये 10 मिनट का पहले का है। हमारा भारतीय नारी अमेरिका का पूरा एकदम मैंने कोहिनूर बना है उनका। इंदिरा उई है ना, हमारा जो कोका कोला का चेयरमैन, तो पेप्सी का, ठीक है, ठीक। लेकिन हाँ, अभी भी पड़ेगी उतना का नाम दिया
जाए। If I may ask one question, I am curious, Dr. Saab, that is maybe a little at this stage, I don't know how to put it, but you are a medical professional. As I understand, basically आपका उस समय सर्जरी नहीं हुआ, डॉक्टर्स ने essentially said कि we will wait for recovery by itself.
Yeah.
Does that increase your faith in God in some way? Were you earlier also a very God, let's say, oriented person, or were you more scientifically aligned? And after the event, when basically doctors said, okay, we'll wait for God's intervention, essentially, as I understand it, does that kind of change you in some manner?
It's a very difficult question, Basically, I believe in nature. For me, the concept of God is the nature. Nature is my God, and nature by itself is a very slow process. It comes to a philosophy, but if you look at the universe, this universe where we are, is so big, it's impossible to comprehend that we have trillions and trillions of galaxies and solar system and the suns, we are only looking at one sun. But if I had to give the number of suns, number of things, they are 10 raised to 29, So basically we are talking trillions and trillions of things. So as far as God is concerned, I believe that to have faith in God is very good thing, because there are some things we don't understand. We are helpless to understand so many things in life. And also, like for example, death of our parents or brothers or sisters, they are very, very sad events. And we may not be able to cope by thinking alone ourselves. We have to have faith, maybe it was God's wish, or maybe it was written in her, Janam Patri or whatever, So I believe that you have to have faith in God or in anything you believe in, that's a very good. But for me, being a biochemist and somebody who understands physiology, I give more credit to the repair mechanism inherent of the body. That is, repair mechanism in body has healed me. But of course, who provided that repair mechanism? If you believe in God, maybe the God had provided the repair mechanism. So to summarize, I think the stroke did not change my faith in any way. It did increase my faith by saying, oh, God saved me. Obviously I could not save myself, I was in coma. So God saved me. So it increases in that way, little more faith in the God. But at the same time, my philosophy in my life is that God is not a micromanager, that God will not heal you and help you unless you want to help yourself. So you have to do your own part, you have to do your own therapy, exercise, see the medical personnel. Then only God can help you. But as far as I am concerned, I think that your own hard work will help you. The faith in God will help you. And I believe in the original Greek philosopher. There was in 14th century Greek philosopher called Democritus. What he said in the 14th century, everything you see in this world is matter of chance and necessity. We discover a lot of things because it is necessary. Certain accidents happen, certain ways things happen is because of chance. You could be, when I was growing up, the one thing I could never understand, how could a 4-year-old kid who has left her home to go to school or go to daycare center is run over by a car and she is dead or he is dead? Why the 4 or 5-year-old kid are suffering from cancer and they are hospitalized? After all, we were told that we are lucky to born as a human being because we may have done some good deeds in the old life. But here the 4 and 5-year-old kids are, getting in the hospital. So I have written many articles on this faith. And the main thing is to summarize, I think it's good for us to believe in God, to have self-discipline in our life, but we have to do our job. We have to try to help ourselves. Then only God can help us. I don't know whether I answered your question.
Indeed, no, that's right. It is indeed, these are some the dilemmas that we sometimes ponder over, and it's not very easy to answer them in black and white. I can understand that, but I just had, while I was hearing your journey, I had a little bit of curiosity there. Dr. Partha has raised his hand, and after that we'll come to Wilson ji. Dr. Partha?
सोदी जी, मैं आप जो प्रश्न किए हैं उसका मेरा तरफ से कुछ जो भावना है मैं जो 9 जो हम बचे हुए हैं इस फोरम में पेश करना चाहता हूँ। ये मेरा पर्सनल व्यू है मेरे एक्सपीरियंस पे। आप प्रश्न किए थे कि जब कोई मनुष्य बीमार होता है, मनुष्य क्यों, जब कोई पशु या पक्षी भी बीमार होता है, वो भगवान में ज्यादा विश्वास करना शुरू करता है कि जब पहले का विश्वास था वो बढ़ जाता है कि नहीं। बात ये मेरा तरफ से, मैं तो 33 साल हो गया पेशेंट देख रहा हूँ, और पिछले 27 साल मैं इंग्लैंड में, जहाँ पे नेशनल रिलीजन एथीज्म है, माने कि यहाँ पे कोई वो भगवान में विश्वास नहीं करते हैं। हाँ, कैथोलिक है, प्रोटेस्टेंट भी है, और मैं भी हिंदू हूँ, मुसलमान भाई हैं, सब हैं, लेकिन फॉर्मली लैंग्वेज चर्च ऑफ इंग्लैंड है। इसीलिए मैं इतना बोलना चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पे एथिज्म माने कि भगवान को नहीं मानना कल्चर है, फैशन है। इसीलिए मैं पेशेंट को जब पूछता हूँ कि वो क्या सोचते हैं, अब जो प्रश्न अभी प्रोफेसर साहब से किए हैं, वो लक में विश्वास करते हैं। लक माने कि लक,
चांस हो गया, चांस।
चांस। और हाँ, चांस के बारे में, जो बच्चा जो 4 साल का उम्र था, रन ओवर हो गया, बीइंग एट द रॉन्ग प्लेस एट द रॉन्ग टाइम। और इफ यू डू गुड, वो बोलेगा कि आप अच्छे, वाज एट द राइट प्लेस एट द राइट टाइम, क्योंकि वो बोलते कि आप फर्स्ट आए कि कुछ में अच्छा किए, ये आपका क्रेडिट नहीं है, आप उस टाइम अच्छे जगह में थे, इसलिए आपका अच्छा हुआ। और अब मारे गए क्योंकि आप अंधेरे गली में थे जहाँ पे गुंडे लोग घूम रहे थे, और अब क्रॉस फायर में आ गए। ये कल्चरल है कि कोई भगवान में विश्वास करता है, क्योंकि हिंदू लोग विश्वास करते हैं कोई परमात्मा होता है, वही हमें भेजे हैं अच्छा जीवन करने के लिए, और अपना कर्म जो है इसके लिए आप जिम्मेदार हैं। अच्छा कर्म करेंगे तो आपका अच्छा होगा, और आपको बच्चों की भी अच्छा होगा, और आपका 14 जनरेशन बाद में भी अच्छा होगा। इसीलिए ये सोशल कुछ है, हम अच्छा करने से कुछ अच्छा मिलेगा, इसीलिए अच्छा करते रहते हैं। इसी से सोसाइटी का फ्रेमवर्क अच्छा रहता है। साइंस और फिलोसॉफी बॉर्डर लाइन है। ह्यूमन जो हमारा शरीर जो है, इसमें मैं तो सोचता हूँ ब्रेन के बारे में हम 95% नहीं समझते हैं, 5% समझते हैं। पहले तो और भी कम समझते थे। बाकी शरीर का मैं स्पेशलिस्ट नहीं हूँ, नहीं बोलना उचित नहीं होगा, लेकिन मैं समझता हूँ 5 से 15% ज्यादा समझ पाइए। हमारा बॉडी पूरा मिस्ट्री है, बहुत सारा चीज, ये जो भी बनाया होगा हमारा शरीर, सर बोल रहे हैं कि नेचर बनाया है, मैं भगवान में विश्वास करता हूँ, मैं समझता हूँ कि ब्रह्मा जी बनाए हैं। तो जो बनाया है वो हमसे बहुत 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 बड़े कारीगर है, और उसका कैसे बना है ये जानते हुए पूरा हम विलीन हो जाएंगे, लेकिन जान नहीं पाएंगे ऐसा चीज बनाए हैं हमने। और शायद मस्तिष्क जो है, जिससे हम पक्षी और जानवरों से समझते हैं कि अच्छा है, इसी जो ऑर्गन है इसको इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बनाया है कि शायद हम समझ नहीं पाएंगे। स्ट्रक्चर समझ पाएंगे, लेकिन फंक्शन तो समझना बहुत मुश्किल है। इसीलिए मैं हूँ, आप हैं, प्रोफेसर जी हैं, ठीक है। ये तो बहुत बहुत बहुत, ये हम समझेंगे तभी हम उन्नति कर सकेंगे, ये सब चीजों को समझने के लिए, ताकि हम इसका चिकित्सा कर सके, जान सके, रिसर्च कर सके। और यदि हम समझ गए कि सब कुछ जान गए हैं, तो मानिए कि उस दिन हमें रिटायर करके हिमालय या आपका कोलंबस में क्या पहाड़ है हम तो नहीं जानते हैं सर, वहां पे जा करके कैंप बना के रहना पड़ेगा, ये हम समझते हैं। अच्छा, तो ये हो गया फिलोसॉफी ऑफ साइंस। पक्का बात यह है कि हम बहुत कुछ नहीं जानते हैं, इसलिए भगवान को जरूरत होता है, नेचर का जरूरत होता है। क्योंकि नेचर माने कि ब्रह्मा जी बोलिए, कि ईसा मसीह बोलिए, कि अल्लाह बोलिए, किसी भी नाम की यहोवा बोलिए, आपका भगवान कोई भी हो सकता है, लेकिन आखिर में तो गैलेक्सी में ही जाना पड़ेगा सबको, ठीक है। तो ये हुआ। तो मैं तो समझता हूँ मेरा भी बीमारी हुआ है, मैं तो विश्वासी हूँ। हाँ, जब 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 बच्चा होता है, वो भगवान का तो कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं होता है। आप आधा जीवन बिताएंगे तभी ना आपको कुछ कड़ा ठक्कर मिलेगा, कुछ नुकसान ही आएगा, तभी ना आप समझेंगे कि आपसे भी ऊपर में कोई है जो आपको डोरी बांध के रखा है। आप तो सिर्फ नाच रहे हैं, आप समझ रहे हैं कि आप सभी को नचा रहे हैं, लेकिन हम बहुत वल्नरेबल है। एक तो कैंडल इन द विंड है जो गाना बनाए थे प्रिंसेस डायना के लिए, हमारा ये जो कौन है, एल्टन जॉन। आवर लाइफ इज लाइक ए कैंडल इन द विंड।
That's true.
अब कितना बड़े हैं, कौन क्या मैंने, जेफ बेजोस हो कि बिल गेट्स हो कि एलोन मस्क हो कि बाइडेन जी हो कि मोदी जी हमारा हो, वी आर ऑल लाइक कैंडल्स इन द विंड। कब आपका हार्ट बंद हो जाएगा आप नहीं जानते हैं। अब कितना जांच कीजिएगा, जैसे कि हमारे प्रोफेसर जी तो एकदम पक्के आदमी थे, एक दिन भी नहीं, खांसी भी नहीं होगा, छींक भी नहीं डाले। देखिए अंदर में एवीएम था, उनको पता भी नहीं चला, जब जिस दिन बर्स्ट हो गया उसी दिन से वो बीमार पड़े गए। मैं तो जानता हूँ, इसलिए पूछ रहे थे सर से कि मेरा स्ट्रोक कल हो गया तो कैसे ठीक हो पाए। क्योंकि वी आर ऑल वल्नरेबल, हम तो ह्यूमन है, मॉर्टल है, मॉर्टल।
एक्चुअली अमेरिका में एक सिंगर है, कैंसस,
हाँ,
कैंसस, they came out with a song 15 years back, maybe 20 years back. उसका song का जो first line है, all we are is dust in the wind.
Yeah.
All we are is dust in the wind. Beautiful.
ठीक। आप यूनिवर्स का डायमेंशन में हमारा पृथ्वी का डायमेंशन कंपेयर करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे 10 से भी, हम पृथ्वी का साइज 10 से भी कम है, और हम 8 बिलियन लोगों हैं इस प्लेनेट में, और पेड़ पौधों को बात तो छोड़ ही दीजिए। तो इतना घमंड, इतना कहां से आता है, बोलिए ना। we are Earth, Mother Earth is less than a speck of dust in the big universe you talked about. So what are we individual humans? So at least we have to save the planet and look after each other, and then everything will be fine. हम क्या करते हैं, लड़ाई झगड़ा करते हैं, मारपीट करते हैं, गोलीबारी करते हैं, ऐसा ही तो करते हैं ना। ठीक है सर, बहुत आज आपका प्रोग्राम है सर, मुझे ज्यादा
I'll just interrupt, sir. Wilson ji has raised his hand. Maybe he wants to say something, and we are already reaching 9. I think we'll close after that. Wilson, साहब आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
Yes, sir. Since we are definitely running short of time, actually we have crossed 8:30. But yes, it is in continuation with the discussion by Dr. Tejwani and Dr. Parth. Basically, both are medical doctors. Both are quietly this thing, and other than the scientific things. What we were talking about, the faith in God, basically how we believe in God and how God helps us. Of course, definitely, हम जो medical science के बारे में बात करते हैं कि Mr. Dr. Parth sir है, जो neurologist है, quite super specialist है, and still it is super speciality is limited only up to the brain part. Even if you say, अगर हमने बात किया बीच में कि आदमी पैदा होने से 4 साल का आदमी कैसे एक्सीडेंट्स में जाता है, then where is God? It comes to the knowledge of gynecology. Sir is a biochemistry, this thing. So there are different subjects, every word. And above all the words, there is a faith. Definitely, God is there, and we are there because of the God. And I am a strong believer because Parth sir is, I think so, is associated with some atheist organization where they do not believe in God. Definitely, this is the thing. I first of all, I thank God.
नहीं, मैं हिंदू हूँ सर, विल्सन जी।
Religion has got nothing to do, sir.
नहीं, सुनिए सर, डिस्क्लेमर है, मैं हिंदू हूँ सर, मेरा ब्राह्मण परिवार में जन्म हुआ है, मैं मेरा उपनयन हुआ है, लेकिन मैं 33 साल एथीस्ट सोसाइटी में रहता हूँ। मेरा पेशेंट ज्यादा से ज्यादा एथीस्ट है, उनका जो मनोभाव है,
I honor your faith, sir. I honor your faith. As far as I do not believe in religion, you believe in religion. I believe in a personal relation with the God which I am having, and I thank God and I praise God for all the stroke what I got, because I know that मैं मर जाता था अगर if I would have been last year मेरे को जब stroke आया, तो stroke was definitely, if I would have not reached to the hospital, then I would have died. So it is upon the timing that I reach to the hospital at the particular timing. Timings are very important. See, I believe in God and I believe in timings, because in Bible, in one book called as Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, it says that there is a time to war and time to death. So God is supreme. I will salute your faith, your this thing also, sir, and also Tejwani sir also. But my question, sir, it was not based upon faith right now today. It was about, sir, you were talking, both of you were discussing about the gamma radiation or gamma knife type of therapy. My concern is basically with the therapies what are available and how it is going to help, or whether Tejwani sir has already, he said that he has taken the gamma bombardment and gamma radiations. So how it has helped, or what are the effects? Or I would like to learn from you, legends, or I would like to add to my knowledge, sir, on these things, how it is helpful. So can you please elaborate, sir? If time permits or something, we will definitely have chat. But sir, I salute you and I respect your this thing. We will definitely talk on this particular subject, sir, and Tejwani sir also. So I would like to know more about gamma radiation, since Parth sir, you are the you are the neurologist, sir, and you are biochemist, sir, Tejwani sir. Please, I would like to
तेजवानी सर
learn from
पहले
you.
बोलेंगे फिर मैं बोलूंगा. तेजवानी सर सेशन है.
I think I
Please,
will
sir, please.
go very briefly. I know that the radiation was done in my brain for 45 minutes. And what area it was done, there are not there are 3 doctors are monitoring, my neurosurgeon, radiation oncologist, and a physicist. The 3 people are monitoring my gamma radiation. As far as I am concerned, I really don't know what has happened in my brain. I was told that it will helpful to my blood vessels. I don't know. They did the angiogram. Angiogram was very good. And my neurosurgeon was very happy. So only what he told me is that you have become normal. Now your stroke, incidents, the incidents of getting another stroke is minimized, or is it as good as mine. And hereafter, you consider yourself a normal person. If you want to say hello, to come and see me. So it worked more like psychologically on me, that I am a normal person now. I should take my life now as it goes, I don't have to worry about anything else. And I am risk-free now, and God has given me another life, and I will take care of it. So that's all I know about gamma knife surgery. I don't know the details because I have not seen any pictures, or I understand the angiogram and other things. So maybe Dr. Partha will say anything.
नमस्कार. विल्सन जी, मैं चैट बॉक्स में 4 लिंक भेजा हूं. हमारा हरदीप साहब आपको ये ईमेल कर देंगे. उसको आप एक तो क्लिक कीजिएगा. जितना आप जानना चाहते हैं उसी में लिखा है. 2 मेयो क्लिनिक से है, उसमें पढ़ लीजिए. चैट बॉक्स में सब है. सोदी साहब जरूर उसको कॉपी पेस्ट करके आपको ईमेल कर देंगे. हाइपर लिंक है.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
मेरा प्लेजर है सर. ये तो एजुकेट करना, एजुकेशनल सेशन है सभी के लिए.
I'm just trying to add to my knowledge, sir. And one question immediately, sir. Tejwani sir, this is a question for you. You are talking about angiogram, whether it is angiogram or whether it is encephalogram.
In America, we call it angiogram. Angiogram. There can be also heart angiogram. It could be other things also. But mine was a brain angiogram.
मैं जस्ट क्लैरिफाई. एंजियोग्राम होता है कि आपका जो धमनी या आर्टरी में या वेन में डाई पुश किया जाता है, और वो जो डाई जो है माने कि कॉन्ट्रास्ट जो होता है वो सारा शरीर में फैला जाता है, और तब उस टाइम एक्सरे लिया जाता है ताकि आपका अंदर में जितना सारा आर्टरी है, वेन है, उसका छवि निकल जाए। और विल्सन साहब, आप जो बोल रहे हैं एंसेफेलोग्राफी, एंसेफेलो माने कि माथा, न्यूमो एंसेफेलोग्राफी होता था पहले में, सीटी स्कैन से पहले 60वीं शतक में, 60s 70s में, जब सीटी स्कैन नहीं होता था, सिर्फ स्कल एक्सरे होता था और ब्रेन का अंदर हवा, एयर पुश किया जाता था, और उस हवा कैसे फैला रहा है उसको देख करके ब्रेन राइट साइड या लेफ्ट साइड में जा रहा है कि नीचे जा रहा है, दबा रहा है, ये देखा जाता था। ये बहुत पेनफुल था। ये 60 या 70 दशक प्री सीटी स्कैन, सीटी स्कैन हमारा मिड 70s से आ गया है होल वर्ल्ड में। तो 60 साल में वेंट्रिकुलोग्राम होता था, वेंट्रिकल्स में लंबर पंक्चर करके डाई दे करके वो डाई कैसे फ्लो करता, बहुत पेनफुल था, उतना इंफॉर्मेशन एकदम नहीं मिलता। अभी तो हमें एकदम हाथ में ब्रेन मिल जाता है हमें, जब एमआरआई और एडवांस्ड एमआरआई हम करते हैं तो एकदम जैसा कि माथे को खोल करके देख रहे हैं, प्री ऑपरेटिव प्लानिंग जो होता है, एकदम सर्जन लोग तो 3D प्रिंटर होता है हमारा, अभी जानते होंगे आप, जो टेक्निकल है 3D प्रिंटर में आप वो प्रैक्टिस भी कर लेते हैं ऑपरेशन में, ताकि जो हम नींद के बारे में हम बोल रहे थे कि सपने में अब दिखाई देता है, तो जो अच्छा सर्जन होता है वो उस पेशेंट में इवनिंग बिफोर 3D प्रिंटर माने उस पेशेंट का, उस एंजियोग्राम का एग्जैक्ट रेप्लिका एग्जैक्ट नाइफ से प्रीवियस इवनिंग वो प्रैक्टिस कर लेते हैं। और जो अच्छे सर्जन है वो रात का टाइम वो ड्रीम में भी प्रैक्टिस कर लेते हैं कई बार, ताकि वो एंड रिजल्ट कहाँ पे जाना है वो जब माथा खोलता है वो जान जाता है कि व्हाट लाइज 3 hours ahead of him in the operative field। रोबोटिक्स में ये करते हैं। ये सब इम्प्रेस करने का बात नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं तो सर्जन थोड़ा हूँ, लेकिन साइंस हैज टेकन अस टू दिस स्टेज। हम इतना कुछ कर सकते हैं कि तेजवानी साहब का 3D प्रिंटर से उनका एग्जैक्ट ब्रेन मैच टेबल में रख करके सर्जन जो आएगा अगले दिन, यदि कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कुछ हो, दोनों सर्जन बातचीत करेगा कि एवीएम बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है, उसको कैसे ग्लूइंग करा जाता है, कि गामा नाइफ किया जाता है, कि पार्शियल सर्जरी किया जाता है, बहुत सारे कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बात है। लेकिन ये सब हम सर में हाथ रखने से पहले, कि नाइफ रखने से पहले ऑपरेशन इज फुल्ली डन, हम पूरा प्रेडिक्शन कर सकते हैं कि स्ट्रक्चर्स क्या क्या आएंगे। माने कि जैसा कि हमारा प्ले स्टेशन में हमारा बच्चा खेलता है, वो प्ले स्टेशन जैसा है, लेकिन मच मोर इम्पोर्टेंट ये किसी का ब्रेन है, ये तो गेम लूज करने वाला नहीं है, इसको ठीक करना है। सो दैट्स अ टेक्नोलॉजी। ये तो नॉर्मल है, ये सब इंडिया में भी है सर, नथिंग टू डू विद अमेरिका और नॉर्वेजियन कंट्रीज, नथिंग सर। ये कोई भी पर्सन ट्रेन करने के बाद कर सकता है, लेकिन मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट जो बात है कम्युनिकेशन, वो सबसे खराब है सब कंट्री में इंटरनेशनली। डॉक्टर पेशेंट रिलेशनशिप उसी पे बेस्ड है, और कोई भी उस पे फोकस नहीं कर रहा है। हम टेक्नोलॉजिकली बहुत बड़े बड़े बात करते हैं, लेकिन पेशेंट को समझाना कि क्या हुआ है, क्या करना है, कैसे आप ठीक हो जाएंगे, मोटिवेशन बोलिए, ये पिजन का खून बोलिए, सबसे ज्यादा है कि पेशेंट को अपने साइड में ले करके अपने पेशेंट बनो। देखो कि पेशेंट में सीट में बैठना कितना कठिन होता है, इसको एम्पैथी नाम दिया गया है, पहले सिंपैथी बोलते थे। ये छोड़िए, तो लैंग्वेज का बात है, लेकिन समझो कि उसको कहाँ दर्द हो रहा है, अपने समझो, उसको एहसास करो, तभी उसको ठीक कर पाओगे। और जब पेशेंट जान जाता है कि आप उनका दर्द समझ रहे हैं, उसी से 50% बिना दवाई बिना ऑपरेशन ठीक हो जाता है। ये मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है। छोड़िए, मैं ज्यादा बोल दिया।
I think we have reached almost 9 o'clock. We should stop now.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Yeah, thank you.
Gopi ji, for a great session. We took time, but it was an inspiring session. मैं chat में भी देख रहा हूँ, people are passing similar comments. That was a great session. And of course, Dr. Partha brought his inputs and skills also to bear on that. on the discussions that had. Somewhere we digressed a bit, I know, but it was an interesting discussion for me also with you and with Dr. Partha. Gopiji, thank you very much again.
You're very welcome.
I wish you the very best. We wish you the very best. Of course, keep in touch. जैसे आप कह रहे हैं, anytime you want to express your thoughts on our forums, I will be in touch with you again, and we will certainly discuss how to take it further. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir.
Gopiji.
You are
And
welcome.
I'm closing this meeting now. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Very good.
much.